Well, morning peeps. It's around 7:30 a.m. I think, and already red hot. Everything's looking good here. Right, koi. So this is an update on them. It's not been good news actually. I've actually lost 10. I didn't realise I'd got so many actually, but I've lost exactly 10 of them. The other ones, you can see them over there, but they are now swimming around and they actually seem to be a little bit better. And there's none dead this morning, but I got 7 dead a couple of days ago, and then yesterday 3 more. Right, now I'm not an expert, but I'm going to stick my neck out here, and I think I know what the problem really is. Now, when this happened last year, I read online, heavy rain and it brings up the sour water in the bottom and blah blah blah. Yeah, I'll go along with that. The big problem is cane toads. The fish, when I fished them out of the bottom, wow, absolutely smothered in cane toad tadpoles. And just by scooping the dead fish out of the bottom, or even the ones that are floating, absolutely covered in them. And I mean thousands of them. It was just unbelievable. And then the 3 I fished out, which ended for some reason floated, one of them's stomach was already destroyed and it was just full of tadpoles. Now whether they'd eaten their way out or it had died and then they decided to have a good feast on it, I'm not really sure. So I am really gonna say, and somebody can do it as a white paper if they want, but heavy tropical rains and cane toad tadpoles are not a good mix, because what they say with the rain, it hits the bottom, because the rain's colder than the pond, it sinks straight to the bottom, pushes up all the toxic water where there's no oxygen, and there can be a lot of acidy, nasty stuff in there, and then that can actually kill your fish or make them ill or make them lethargic if you're lucky. That's all. I think if you add into the mix, and I'm not exaggerating, a few million tadpoles down at that bottom, then I think you've got a big problem. Now, when you look online, it says that, koi can coexist with cane toads. Maybe, but I don't think as many as we get here, I don't think they've done a study in the Philippines. I mean, this garden, it starts end of February. Sometimes it can be 20 or 30 of them, all on this garden. And they're all making a noise, big fat females, and then I don't even know where males come from, but every female gets around 10 males fighting for it. So, I mean, some of them I shoot, some of them I catch it net and just throw over the wall onto the road, so hopefully they'll go and find somewhere else. But no, I think that's a problem, and it's a little bit my fault, because when this happened last year and the year before, but I only lost a couple of fish the year before, I kept promising this year I'll put something around to stop them coming in, and it only has to be there a couple of months. Put it up around end of February, and like now there's no frogs around at night. They've done their mating, they've finished, they've gone. I mean, other day, well, not just other day, last month I probably fished out 20 dead cane toads, the big female ones, because the males drowned them. They get that many, you'll see sometimes it's the size of a football. There's a fat female with sometimes 10, 15 males, because they're like half the size, all clinging on. And of course, they're air breathers, they can only stay underwater for so long, so they die. But obviously they still drop the spawn and it gets fertilised. So I'm definitely going to say that's a problem. So I've just got to think now for next year, and it only has to be temporary, a couple of months. It's easy to put some stakes around, and I could put some netting, make sure they can't climb it. The only problem is once it gets to here, But then again, I mean, I've drilled a hole there for drainage. I could probably just drill some holes, it won't look bad, and just put some poles in and put it around. It just means I'd have to sort of clear this area as well here, all those plants back, which is a shame because I like it. I'm trying to make this pond look a little bit natural, but I think it's going to be a case of cutting all that back and a net all the way around. So you can see these are all swimming around pretty happy now. There's a couple over there still a little bit lethargic, but thrown a bit of food in, they've had a good sniff, and some have had a little nibble, but that's it. So unfortunately guys, that's the bad news. I mean, I know you can't see here, but I dumped all fish here first before I bagged them up, and I can still see all dead tadpoles. So that's it. So I hope this gets picked up by somebody else who puts it on a vlog somewhere or something, because like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm 100% convinced this time of year, heavy rain, cane toads, too many tadpoles, and done. Oh, and just to say, one of the subscribers mentioned about, you know, checking pH level. I don't have a way to test. I remember I've got some for that, for the pool, but it tests all chlorines and things, but it has a pH on it. So I tested the pH, and for the swimming pool it says low. Now when I've googled it for koi, it's actually okay, because it's a broad range. 6.2 to 8.5 is perfect for koi, and it was coming around 6.8 ish, maybe 6.6, so it's within the range, so the pH is okay. Now unfortunately them strips don't test for anything else apart from chlorine and things like that, and none of the other colours changed anyway, they just stayed the same. So the pH looks like it's okay. So I am going to stick my neck out here and just say it's definitely heavy tropical rain and cane toads. That's the problem. So definitely for next year I'll sort that out. Like I said, now there's none around breeding, they've already finished. So I think Sunday morning I'm actually going to take the filter off the pump. Obviously it pumps down in this corner. I'll fish it out, I'm going to take the filter off so it can suck everything up, and I'm going to give this pond a really good water exchange, maybe get about 80% out so I don't stress the fish as much. Because when I mean, even the other day I did a 20% and I just squirted it over there, there were tadpoles. So I think I'm going to try to get all these as many of these tadpoles out as I can. So I think Sunday morning, start early, get it pumping out, and get as many of these tadpoles out as I can. Because if I don't, I'm going to have a bigger problem next year. Because believe me when I say there's absolutely hundreds of thousands of them in there. I'm just wondering if I can do a bit of an experiment while you're on. Now this is probably going to show me up now and embarrass me. But if I just get the net, my trusty net. Oh wow. Nearly. Now the trouble is they're not normally up this end, but we'll just I'll just do a little scrape along bottom and let's just see what happens. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, there's some there. See them all? Not many, but this net was all full in the bottom when I pulled the fish out with them. Now obviously they'll be attracted to the fish for food, but there's way too many, hundreds of thousands of them. So there we go. So you can now call me Professor Koi. Somebody needs to add it onto a white paper that can be a big problem in the Philippines. All right guys, that's it. I think I'll catch you later. Cheers, bye bye.